Hello everybody, this is the Twins of Destruction, back with another analysis speculation video. Before we move on, I would like to say that we have social media accounts, and we'll put them on screen right now and down in the description below. Alright, let's get started. There are multiple things that caught my attention during the Curse of the Pharaohs DLC. Throughout this video, we will talk about all that we have found and researched, and we'll give our thoughts on what we think it all means. A huge Easter egg puzzle sort of thing that was found in the Aru realm on top of the synchronization point was in the Ba bird's nest. There is an activation point in which the game displays this. It is a list of letters, I's and Y's more specifically, and I actually used the internet, more specifically Reddit, to help me out with decoding what was going on. I will also link that down below. Things I pulled from the Reddit thread are things such as take each group of letters, and I'm going to put these on screen to show you what I'm talking about in a diagram of sorts, and using the Egyptian alphabet, Y equals 2 and I equals 1, due to the fact that the Egyptian alphabet, Y and I are very similar, but Y has 2 reads and I has 1 read. So because of that, you can then translate them to numbers, like so. Now, add each group together, so you get these 3 numbers from the 3 groups. Now, this is the part I didn't really get. This was from another person that actually contributed to the original cause. Maybe I'm saying this wrong, but he took those numbers and transferred them from ternary to decimal. Whatever that really means, he got these groups of numbers. Still 3 groups, just translated of sorts. Well, when I first saw these, my eyes went to 1934, which was obviously a real date. So it got me thinking, could they be dates? So if you move the 9 over, it would be 2,339? Probably not. 1601? Maybe. 1934? Maybe. 1601 would be one of the things I could think of would be the Spanish Inquisition. And in 1934, Hitler named himself leader of Germany, which, if you didn't know, would eventually lead into 1939 and his invasion of Poland and the beginning of World War II. Taking some of these numbers, I decided to do some digging on my own. Taking this middle group, 91601, and I typed it into Google, and it led me to Los Angeles, California. So, using that location and the date, I looked up Los Angeles, California in 1934, and it led me to a story about this gentleman named G. Warren Schufelt. He was a geophysical engineer and claimed that lizard people had lived underneath Los Angeles over 5,000 years ago. Now, hear me out, this is going to get more explained. Their city stretched underground across the landscape of Los Angeles and can house up to 1,000 people. The city was built to house the people and protect them from future great catastrophes. A huge tongue of fire swept over the southwest and destroyed everything in its path, which was several hundred miles wide. Apparently, there are 2 more unlocated cities on the Pacific coast. One of the tablets in the main directory of the city apparently contains the record of the origin of the human race. Now you might be asking, how does he know that there was history behind all this city? How does he even know a city exists? Well, if you really want to believe that there is a city, he claims that he used radio wave technology of sorts to see through the ground. Again, this sounds really ridiculous, but hear me out because how this can relate to Assassin's Creed. So he was able to somehow read the tablets and saw that there were hints to the origins of the human race, and there was a great catastrophe that destroyed tons of lives, and they actually built this underground city to protect them from future catastrophes. So what does all this mean for Assassin's Creed? Well, if you look at all those details, a lot of it sounds eerily similar to the Toba catastrophe, which destroyed most of the world's population in the Assassin's Creed series. Albeit some details are different. In Assassin's Creed, it was 75,000 years ago, but in Warren's case, he claimed it was 5,000 years ago. But I'm not talking about those dates too much. Why did that string of numbers lead me to Los Angeles and the date 1934? What about those first 3 numbers, 233? Well, if you look up Bible verses or just Bible 233, considering that a lot of Assassin's Creed lore is based on the Bible and history from that. You can come across multiple things, but the most important I found is this. And this is the quote from the Bible of sorts in a version somewhere. And it mentions the Tree of Life and the Garden of Eden. For those of you who are also not aware, the Assassin's Creed series, in number 2, they had a thing called the Truth. And they showed pieces of Adam and Eve stealing the apple from the Garden of Eden, or just Eden, which was the city. And that's what caused the war to start against the Isu. Well, in real history, it is said that Eve stole the apple from the garden, which created sin. So, considering what we know from real history, or what the Bible says, and from the Assassin's Creed history, let's get all these numbers and information together. 233 is a Bible phrase and mentions the Garden of Eden. 91601, when Googled, leads to Los Angeles. In 1934, year in which G. Warren Schufelt made his claim about an ancient lizard people civilization built underneath Los Angeles. He says he learned all of this from Native American tribes. Now, what does this really have to mean for Assassin's Creed? Well, assuming all of this is true, and I'm correct, my theory is that there is a vault underneath Los Angeles, and it was built and used to house people during the Great Catastrophe. It contains the origins of mankind due to it being a factory of sorts, like Eden, which was a factory seen in the Truth video, which was in Assassin's Creed 2. In that clip, Adam and Eve steal the apple from Eden, which was a slave labor factory. What if the vault underneath Los Angeles houses more pieces of Eden? Still don't think that there's a vault underneath Los Angeles. My puzzle-solving skills are not good enough. Well, let's take a look at this image. This was actually from Assassin's Creed Origins. Whenever the C1 vault opens up, when you are looking for Flavius and Septimus, when you're looking for the apple. If my suspicions are to be believed, this map is of the world locations of pieces of Eden, vaults, or both. When looking at North America, there is a dot in a very similar spot to Los Angeles. Coincidence? So, all these things are pointing towards Los Angeles, and if these numbers really were meant to be, like, deciphered in such a way that it led to the Bible verse about the piece of Eden, maybe Eden meaning factory, so maybe Los Angeles has a piece of Eden factory, and it was thought of and almost discovered in 1934 underneath Los Angeles. But we could also just say that Mumbo Jumbo is all wrong, and we'll get back to some other theories. So, the original group of numbers once combined, 9, 17, and 12. When put together, those are actually a date that is important in the Assassin's Creed universe. This is the date that Desmond, Sean, Rebecca, and Lucy all arrived at the Villa Montergione in, I believe it was Brotherhood. Why this date? Why this location? Is this all a coincidence? Maybe. So, unless it has something to do with that date, then maybe it could be this theory. This idea was also taken from said Reddit thread. If you take the series of letters originally found in the Bobbird's nest, and you put it in Google Translate, you might get it to then switch from the Hausa language to Arabic, both of which are thought to have been descendants of the Egyptian language. Once translated, it will say, other humanity. Hey, but that could be a huge coincidence, right? Well, another user translated it from Chinese and got this result, other humanism. Now that's just freaky. Now here are the definitions of humanity and humanism, so we can talk about what they have to do with each other. Humanity, the human race, human beings collectively. And humanism, an outlook or system of thought attaching prime importance to human rather than divine or supernatural matters. Humanist beliefs stress the potential value and goodness of human beings, emphasize common human needs, and seek solely rational ways of solving human problems. So what is the difference between those two? Well, humanity is humanity itself, while humanism is more or less a psychological movement of sorts. So, It could just be the way the language is translated from one to another, but in reality, it might just be talking about being human. This goes back to those analysis videos, which I will link down in the description as well, of the original 6th and 7th audio recordings that were found in multiple Isu sites around Egypt as well as Siwa. In that video, I talk about how the Isu want Layla to do something with her animus. A popular theory online is that she will be traveling back in time to do something crazy like save Desmond from dying. I think that theory is absolutely ridiculous. I do not think she will be traveling back in time physically. She will always be going back mentally in the animus. But she might be able to use her animus to see into the numbers, see into the future, much like no other human can. Humans have never been able to do that. They have barely ever been able to have actual eagle vision. But Layla is different. They said it. She's different. So, other humanity. Could that mean Layla is another part of the human race? Kind of, sort of like a mix between first Civ and human? Could Desmond have looked into the numbers all along because he is a descendant of the first civilization race? Maybe he just didn't know how. Will she be getting walked through on how to look into the numbers, how to fight off Juno? Again, this is all speculation. If you have any comments about any of this, I'd love to hear them down in the comments down below. Or you can contact us on social media. Again, those will be linked down below. I really want to hear what you guys think. If you could, please like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And I will be seeing you in the next video.